Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second episode of Time to Talk with Ty. Today, we touched a little bit on the first episode on being single, successful, educated, and a Black woman here in, well, mainly Rochester, but in today's society, and how we kind of maneuver through that. So today, I have some wonderful ladies with me. I will start over here. I have Charisma. I have Crystal. I have Dina. And I have Mara. And all these ladies are here on their own. I did not force them. I did not bribe them. They're here because they want to be here. But no, really, we just want to just talk a little bit about being single, especially with Valentine's Day approaching. And I like to, this new term that I just learned, Galentine's Day. I was in Target and I was like, what is Galentine's Day? What is that about? So it's really friends, girls getting together, celebrating each other. And I think that is so dope. And I want to do that this year. I want to do a little bit of that. Like, we just celebrate each other. We get together and have a glass of champagne, and we can celebrate, like this says up here, we can celebrate the love that we have for one another, not just intimate relationships between couples. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit, though, with Valentine's Day and Galentine's Day approaching, a little bit about your experience with being single. And like I said, you guys can share anything you would like to. I'm going to start and I'm going to go down and we're going to talk a little bit about just being single and what it's like, and what you kind of go through, and what just how you deal on a day-to-day basis. And I'm going to actually let anyone start who wants to start. I'm not even going to pick anybody. I'm just going to let you guys decide who wants to start. Who wants to start?
Marissa's going to do it.
I'll start, sis.
Okay. Look at Rizzy.
I'll start.
Okay.
What's the question?
That's what I was thinking.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Okay, so
Get it, Ray.
listen, you guys got a little time. You guys got a little time to talk with Ty. What is it like being single? Okay, so first of all, let me start.
Okay.
So Charisma is an independent, educated, single Black woman who will be purchasing her first home this year. She doesn't have any children right now. She's never been engaged or married, but she's been single for all of her years of life. So I think that she is a good person to talk to us about what it's like to be single, and on a day-to-day basis, how you deal with and handle those things, single and dating. Just a little bit about what it's like for you.
I wouldn't say that it's difficult, but it's different because being with someone, I was in a relationship where I was in my mind, I thought that I was in a monogamous relationship, but come to find out it was infidelity. So basically the hard part of being single is starting over. You know what I mean? Like, for me, a lot of my friends are either married or they've been together for a long time, and then it's me, and you're like, well, what's your favorite color? You know, that stage of starting over and getting to know somebody and trying to figure out their intentions, it's difficult. And then a lot of men see you as, you know, doing your own thing, own car, working, and some people try and take advantage of you and take advantage of that. So
Yes. And I think that is very, I really think that probably would be the hardest part, you know, not being able to discern or see, is that the real person, or am I going to be in this for 3 months and then you're going to show me your true self? So I can imagine that is very difficult, a difficult part. Do any of you other ladies want to touch on that or share something about being single?
I think just thinking about difficulties with being single. So I like the beginning of relationships. So it's not fun when you got to like pick the person out and, you know, get to know them. But I like the newness. And I think I got hooked on that. Okay. So then once I got into the part where it was every day, okay, I got to talk to you, I got to call you, you know, we got to do things. I got bored. Right. So then eventually I end up being back single again. So I think I find myself kind of being in a rut sometimes. And then I'm always seeking out like the fun part. Like,
right.
let's take trips. Let's go to
The
the casino. Let's go out
excitement
to eat.
of
Let's
it.
get dressed up and go here and there. That part is fun for me.
Okay.
But I was like, that's never going to get me in a real
committed,
relationship. Yeah,
Like
right,
the honeymoon stage.
The honeymoon stage. I love that part.
Right. So you love that part, whereas like Riz was saying, she doesn't really like having to start over and deal with that part, but that's something that you actually enjoy. That is awesome. Okay, so that is good. I like to see that there's two different sides and to things. Anybody else want to touch on?
Well, I think for me, having children, it makes it a little bit more different when I'm dating because I have to consider my kids and their personalities and what they like or don't like, and that helps me decide if the person is a match or not. And it's almost tough because you don't want to bring your kids around who you're dating too prematurely, but then you also don't want to wait. And so it's finding that balance, that healthy, appropriate moment to integrate everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
When you have to introduce, like you said, when you get to that moment, what lets you know that, okay, what lets you know it's okay to introduce that person to your children?
Well, for me, I feel like I'm grown. So it's my vibes. And if I feel like I'm vibing with that person and I trust that person, then I'm going to make the ultimate decision that they'll be trustworthy enough to be around my children. Okay. So then it's the next step. Making sure that their personalities mesh. Because I have a unique blend of children and like they do their own thing. They're very independent, but they also have a major influence on how I move. And so for anybody just to come in and think that they have able to manipulate or have an opinion on how I raise my kids, I get defensive. I get very defensive. So for me, it's easy. Like keep it light. You don't need to meet the kids till we're ready to have confrontation or whatever comes from disagreements because that's about the time when it comes.
Right. Or for them to think that they are more important than your children, or they're going to come first.
Oh yeah.
If something is going on with one of your children,
and I dated someone who didn't have kids before, so that was tough.
Okay.
That was very tough.
Okay. So do you prefer to date someone who has children and they kind of understand that? Yeah,
because it's something you have in common. So you share that in common. So that's something you can build on. And it's like, it's almost exciting bringing your kids involved in a lot of things that you do because I want somebody who loves their child. Not no one who just, me and my baby mama don't get along. Like, I'm over that. Like, those days are gone for me. Can't no man come to me and tell me that him and his baby mama can't get along.
Right.
That's done.
Because why? You're both
why? Y'all grown-ups now, you know? So that's a red flag.
Right.
I think on the opposite of Dina, I dated someone with a child. I didn't have a child. So when it came to certain things, if I want to do something, I want to do it. I don't want to hear that, I got to figure out arrangements for my kids. So that was very, very difficult. And now, as of right now, me being 27, finding someone without a kid is hard. It's
hard. It is very hard. And then, Crystal and Mara, how do you guys feel about dating someone who has children who doesn't have children?
In my last relationship, my significant other, he had a kid from a previous relationship. And at first, I was really cool with it. My dad was a single dad. He raised me. So I was like, okay, like, that's fine. Loved his kid like she was my own. But then I started to notice, and I guess not necessarily even, like, issues with him having a child, but, like, inconsistencies with him where he was doing things where, like, being very selfish and not even putting me first, but, like, not putting his kid first. And when I would say things like, your daughter said she wanted an American Girl doll for Christmas, you should probably start, like, putting aside a little bit of money for that. And then, of course, like, the day before Christmas comes up and he's calling her mom, like, what'd you get her for Christmas? Because I didn't get her anything. So now I'm, like, online at Target talking to this woman I ain't never met before in my whole entire life. Like, yes, you can go to Target to pick it up for her, like, blah, blah, blah. And so, like, for me, if you have a kid, I need to see that, like, you take that role seriously. Because, like I said, I was raised by a single father, and he was the best dad. Right. So, like, if I see that you're slacking, that's really unattractive to me. But if you have kids and you're taking care of them, and, like, you're involved in their lives, I'm open up. I mean, like, don't have, like, 8, 9, 10.
Like 1, 2. You don't have a lot of kids, 1 or 2, right? What do you think?
So everybody that I've dated always had 2, 3 plus kids.
2, 3 plus.
Yeah. So it was always a complication about the kids because I don't have any.
Right.
And so now I'm 36, still don't have any kids. Probably won't plan on having any, but I know now that whoever I'm dating, whatever guy I find out there, most likely they're going to have kids. I think I just put it out there for myself. Like, I'm not going to find a guy that doesn't have kids, that wants to like start scratch to have a family.
Yes.
So I think I just, put that in my mind. So I think I have to be open to the fact that, I may meet a man that has children. And I would be looking at the same thing like Mara said, like, how do they treat their kids? Like, what do they do to like show their kids that they value them, and holidays and things like that? That stuff would be important for me. For the most part of my life, I grew up without a father. So I look at that stuff even harder. Like, are you in your kid's life? And I think that is a deterrent for me if I see that they're like lacking or they're not trying to be the best. So I think that, I see that stuff as well, similar to how Mara sees it.
Okay. And Mara, did you want to share anything else about just being single in general?
I think a lot of what everybody else said. First of all, coming out of a relationship, it's odd. I remember I was talking to get a guy friend, like a good guy friend that doesn't want to sleep with you.
Real friend.
Yeah, is that possible?
Just tell me where to go.
I don't know. I mean, no, like he might, but like I don't know it. But I remember I was talking to him and I was like crying. He was like, first of all, you sound pathetic. And he was like, second of all, you were at a point where like you knew that relationship wasn't going to work. You were just very comfortable with him. Like, and I think that that's part of being in a relationship that I miss is like the comfort of it, coming home and having somebody to talk to in the middle of the winter time, having somebody to scrape the ice off my car, like warm my car up and stuff like that. And then like being single is kind of weird in this time because no one talks to each other. Like people don't approach you at Wegmans or like when you're out at dinner. It's all like, oh, I slid in her DMs or like Tinder or something like that. So it could be different.
But it's nothing wrong with women approaching men too. Like you said, Wegmans. Like I've seen some good looking people at Wegmans, and it's like if you step outside yourself and you really just take the chance, like people are very approachable. I'll approach anybody.
Oh, really? Oh, Dina is bold.
What? I challenged myself like that. Like,
that's right.
I was in Wegmans. It was this older guy, an older white man too. But we started talking about salad dressing, and finally, like 2 hours later, he was like, "I picked it," and I'm like, "That's what I'm talking about." But it's like it starts that simple. You never know who you run into or the conversations you can have. So I'm open to it.
That's good. And being open. Okay, so then that's another thing. So some of you ladies have shared that you were in relationships for a period of time and then either married or in a committed relationship, and now all of a sudden you're single or you're back on the market. And I think in our first episode, Meta talked a little bit about being open to love. So now, say you're in a relationship and you have been abused, bruised, scarred. You have been, all of these different things. How do you open yourself to love again? How do you open yourself to being okay and not leery of every single person that you meet? Oh no, that's a red flag. That's a sign. Nope, that's what the last one did. I'm not about to go through this again. How do you open yourself to new love?
I think you just have to find who you are and what you want, because you can't expect new love to come and love you better than you can love yourself. And so once you know how to love you, like for me, I'm so content when I'm home alone. Like I can be home for hours and then be like, ain't nobody called me. I haven't heard from nobody. Where before I'll be like, well, where he at? Why he ain't, like those type of insecure thoughts that don't yield no results, and it don't build you closer to nobody. Like people think something wrong with you if you can't be self-sufficient and be in your own company. Right. So it's like, I feel like being in my own company is the best thing because I know what I like. And if somebody come around me and I get them to laugh and we start vibing, then it's like, what else left is there? Because humor, passion, like that's, I feel like the ingredients to lasting anything.
You got something to say, Riz?
Riz, what you got to say?
What do you want to say?
You want to go against that, Riz?
No,
it's
just being in a relationship to now starting to talk to somebody else. Sometimes in my head, it might just be in my head, the new guy do something that triggers you from what happened in the past. So now you lash out at him and he's looking at you like, well, what's going on? What are you talking about? And I feel like that's I have to adjust because I don't want to bring the past feelings from my past relationship.
Right.
Into
so how long does it take? Like, do you think that is like a healthy gap before like that baggage won't come with you to your next relationship? Like, is there like a time where it's like, okay, well, I feel better now. I can date and I won't like think that I'm taking this personal because I'm punishing this person for something else that happened. Like, when is it a cutoff? Do we have like a 6-month grieving period? Like,
exactly.
when do we start feeling better? Because you would torture a lot of people thinking like that.
Definitely. But and you torture yourself.
You torture yourself, especially.
Well, and I think,
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think that's why I don't know if it's a time limit, but like to really like heal, especially if you've been hurt for whatever reason, if the person was like cheating on you, or if you were just hurt because you thought it was gonna work out. I think one of the things that I did, like when I first got out of the relationship, I was like, oh my god, like I have to like go out on dates, blah blah blah, because I was lonely and I didn't like to be by myself, which is weird because I'm an only child and like I used to love being by myself. But I think once I realized, I was like, you're not ready because like you're still crying over this, not necessarily over the person, but just like over the hurt, and like you're still bitter about a lot of things. So maybe not a time limit, but like when that weight has been released from you, like you can feel it. You feel lighter, like it's not as difficult to like get up in the morning. And,
right.
Like,
exactly. It's like grieving. Like you said, it's a grieving period. Once you get past that, then you know, okay, I'm gonna be okay. Yeah.
I think one relationship specifically for me, it took me a couple years.
Right.
I want to say like maybe like 2 years or so. Because I knew I was looking at every man like, yeah, I don't trust you. Yeah. Yeah. You seem like you're lying.
Not the one.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it took a couple years, and even still now today, that discernment is something that I have to really tune in, and it comes from within.
Right.
So,
definitely.
The next guy may do something that may be similar to what the old guy did, but it's the discernment that's going to say, okay, can I give him a chance to make sure that he's not just doing the same old things that I'm used to? But it takes that, getting to know yourself and giving yourself that time. And for everybody, it's going to be different. So
and I don't
6
think
months,
that,
2 years,
I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't think that giving yourself that time necessarily means you need to be single while you're doing it. Like, I think that you can give yourself that time and still talk to other people and find yourself, because you usually find yourself through how you respond to people, So I think it's healthy to talk to other people and like date and figure yourself out while you're finding yourself, because it's natural.
Definitely. Okay, well, we're gonna take a brief champagne break. Every lady, you want to grab their glass? Grab their glass of champagne. We're gonna take a brief champagne break, and we will be right back. We're back from our little break, and I just want to move into this may be a good part for some of the ladies, and it may be reliving something they don't want to relive, but I want to talk a little bit about your worst date. What was the worst date you ever been on, and why? Anybody want to start?
I don't know if you would call it a worst. I feel like if someone comes to you and approaches you and asks you out on a date, I feel like they should be paying. That's just me.
Oh, yes.
That is me.
I agree with you, Riz.
Yeah. Exactly. If it's your idea, you're taking me out on a date, then you should be paying. So I was talking to this guy. He came and got me. We went out to dinner. The bill comes. He tells the waiter, you can just split it. So by this point, I'm aggravated.
Right.
You asked me to come out on a date. I don't understand why I'm splitting anything. I'm not going half with you on a bill after you done bought Hennessy and Patron. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so that was really a turnoff for me. I feel like I'm not saying a man, when you go out, you should pay for everything. I'm definitely not saying that. But I'm saying if you're approaching me and asking me to go out, then you should be pulling out your card and paying for that bill.
Right, because you asked me out on a date. And then so last night, Mara and I, Mara is a fellow female blogger. Woo! Yes, Jador Joel, you got to follow her. We're going to have her. We sat down and we were having a conversation, and Mara was telling me about a similar situation, a date that she was on. You want to share that with us, Mara?
Sure. Okay, so I don't recommend Tinder, but I randomly get on it like when I'm bored, and I deleted it off my phone recently because I was like, this is trash. So I like got on Tinder one day, and I was just like swiping left on people because I'm really just nosy, and I like to see who's on there. And there was this guy, and I liked his profile, and he was kind of sort of cute, so I swiped right. He messaged me, and a lot of people don't message you, so he messaged me, and he was like, hey, what's up, blah, blah. We had a nice conversation, so we ended up just like deciding to go and get dinner at a local place. And I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, he picked a nice spot, everything like that. So we're eating dinner, but we're talking, and I just got like weird vibes from him, like a sneaky kind of like fast talker thing. He told me he was divorced, and I was like, okay, like that's fine. So, you know, he was asking me about like my dreams and stuff like that. And I remember he did ask me, he was like, oh, so do you expect your significant other to support you in that? And I was like, yes, the same way I support you. Like, this is reciprocity. This is how we do it. But
exactly.
The bill comes, and I had ordered, kind of like you, like he had ordered something like kind of big, and then like the bill comes, and I had gotten like a crab cake appetizer because I wasn't super hungry, and he was like, oh, you know, since you're an independent woman, you know. I said, okay, well, yeah, I will pay for my crab cakes, and we will never go out again. So I paid for my crab cakes, and he tried to hit me with the like, oh, what are you doing after this? And I was like, I'm going home. So 2 days later, I get a text message from a number that I didn't know, and it was like, Mara, you whore, stay away from my husband.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, and it was bad. She was like, he already got one of his other whores pregnant,
Lord,
and
Jesus.
like, I have a restraining order against him, or someone else has a restraining order against him. I was like, sis, why are you with him then? That was the worst day.
And checking me.
Oh,
well, you should be really checking him.
But then he texted me after that, and he said, please do not contact me anymore, making my wife upset. Oh, no, this is the best part. He said, if I want you as one of my ladies, I will contact you soon and let you know.
Ooh.
I said, no, both of you are on the blocked list.
Wait, hold on. Mara, now that part we didn't talk about last night. Oh. He, what? If he wants you as one of his ladies.
Yes.
See, this love and hip hop has gone too far.
It's gone way too far. What do you mean, sir?
I don't know.
What?
I blocked both of them. I was just like, no, I'm not even responding.
Because when you said the please do not contact me, I was thinking he's sending a text, his wife is sitting there, she wants him to see that.
That's
but
what I thought
if
too.
I want you as one of my ladies, so what? There's a harem and we're going to be in waiting?
Well,
we're
the
ladies
thing
in waiting?
and not that like this matters that much, but like he wasn't cute enough to me to like be getting all this attention from women, like getting pregnant and all this, like women texting other women, and no,
he was really putting himself out there though.
Yeah.
But come on with that. That wasn't a good date. No. Dina, you have a worst date story or?
Well, usually for me, I fall in love quick. So we go from like boyfriend 0 to 100. So I started talking to somebody, and I felt like we weren't making a lot of progress. So I kind of gave him like a little list of all the things I wanted to do this summer.
Oh,
a cute
like
little
a bucket
list.
list. So what
like it was like a hopeful list. Like if we don't get this list together, then we ain't gonna be past this.
Oh,
and we didn't do anything on the list. So we didn't do shit. Nothing on the list.
Wait, did he make no effort?
No effort. Like, I mean, I wrote it down, and I was like, Lilac Festival.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Right. Little things, though.
Little things.
Little things. Like, I thought that was really cute. Like, I ain't gonna pressure you, but I'll put a little pressure on you.
Oh my God.
Why is she still laughing?
Wait a minute.
Yes, I thought that was a cute idea.
Oh my God.
But that was also like my end all be all. Like the end of the summer, we didn't go on no date.
Wait, Dina, hold on, because I just love this, Dina. I just love this. Wait, just tell me one more thing. Just tell me like 2 more things that were on the list. I got the Lilac Festival.
Because I didn't even have my kids involved in the stuff on the list. Like, you didn't even have to. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say.
Wait, tell us something else on the list.
I can't recall, but it was something light. It was something light.
Oh my God.
But I thought that was like a unique way of me saying like, this is it. Like, figure it out, you know?
And I actually want to be with you, and these are some things I would like to do.
Some things we better do.
That we better
do.
Okay, so it wasn't really encouraging.
Well, it was encouraging, but it was kind of like, it was like enough, like, Dina, enough already. Like, make up your mind, sis. Like, why you keep giving this person the benefit of the doubt? Give him this list, and don't give him another season if he can't do nothing on this list.
And he didn't do nothing there.
I don't even know if he got the list. Like, do
Wait,
you
how did
still
you
have
present the list to him? Did you
Real
like
cute.
text it to him or did you print
Real
it
cute,
out?
like, it was handwritten.
Oh,
It was very...
that was a nice touch.
I thought it was being thoughtful.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't want to, like, I don't like the idea of going Dutch, like, or doing anything. And I don't want the idea of embarrassing nobody, like, who paying? Like, that look. So I thought, let me give them some ideas of affordable things to do.
Exactly. Okay.
So that nobody will be embarrassed.
Right. So, yes.
And nothing happened.
I got it. I got it.
That was a bad date.
But that was creative on your part. That was creative.
That's who I am.
Yes, you are.
Are we like advertising? Is this a solicitation?
I mean, yes. Put your plug in there, Dina.
That's what I do. No,
yes.
But it sounds like that gave you the answers that you needed.
Right. That was it. And that's how I like to
Wow.
do little slick shit like that.
Mhm.
Like, I ain't gonna argue with you too many times about it, you know,
Right.
But if it's June and y'all ain't been to Lilac Festival.
God damn it, and the Lilac Festival's in May.
Right, exactly.
That's what had happened.
That's what happened. Oh,
That's what had happened.
Dina, I cannot. Like, I
so
cannot.
that was my experience.
Yes, that. My God, Lord, I might need another champagne break. Okay, no, Sister Crystal, you have a date?
So I don't actually have a worst date.
Okay.
Just frustrating dates.
Okay.
I don't have like really bad dates.
Yes.
So I tend to meet people at the store. I probably get that from my mom. And Rainbow. Meeting a guy. Like just random places. But this one guy, he seemed super sweet and was very, very sweet and was doing well for himself. He was an engineer and that kind of stuff was speaking to me because I was like, oh, he's independent. He didn't have any kids. So I was like, oh, wow, this is good. But he had a bad accent.
What?
A really bad accent.
An
he wasn't
accent?
from the U.S.
And that turned you off?
All the way.
How can an accent be
my
bad?
God.
How
What
is
kind of
it?
accent
You
was
gotta
it?
explain.
Not
I don't
like
wanna
a British
say.
accent?
I don't want to say what
or-
kind of accent it was.
Like a Caribbean accent?
Like a Caribbean?
No, no.
Was he from the United States?
Was it a...
Not originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, we're not going to talk about what kind of accent
Right.
it was, but that turned you off. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
I thought when we first met, I was like, okay, well, he seemed really nice. And we had exchanged numbers and we ended up going out the one time. And the whole time at dinner, I was like, wait, what?
Oh, like you couldn't
I
understand.
couldn't chew and hear him at the same time through the accent. So,
Oh.
yeah.
That's
But he
frustrating.
was so nice.
Yeah, I see where you would be frustrated.
Yeah.
Okay, no, piggybacking off of that. I want to go down the line and I want you all to tell me your top pet peeve. So, what is something that you can't get past? If it happens 5 minutes into you meeting that person, you know, nope, you're not the one. Mara.
I went on a date with somebody once, actually a couple dates, so I didn't realize it till like the third date. And because the conversation was good, he didn't tip wait staff,
Okay.
and I was like, oh no.
Not being a tipper,
Yeah.
not tipping. Dina.
How they pronounce words,
Oh.
how they text. Like if you forget to put the period or the exclamation point where it's supposed to go. Oh my gosh. I can't.
Grammar, proper
Proper grammar. If not, I can't talk to you.
No.
Because you don't know if I'm yelling at you or not via text, you know? Like,
That, yeah. Crystal. Crystal.
Mhm.
Yo, I don't want to date none of y'all.
Don't come at me
I'm sorry.
wrong.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I think accents that are really
Of
thick
course. Yes.
is difficult for me.
Okay.
And then, probably accents.
That is a.
I can't.
That's huge. That's
It was huge for me.
Okay. Okay.
And I never even realized that I would have that pet peeve because, like I said, at first I was like, "Oh, it should be fine,"
right.
but
no.
it was difficult.
Okay.
So I think that's the pet peeve: not knowing how to pronounce things and the typos in text messages and things like that.
Okay.
And then somebody who just talks about themselves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, are you even getting to know me? Like, why are we here?
Yes. Okay.
You running down the
That I
resume
wouldn't-
to me.
Right.
Yes, I
like
think,
that.
yeah, especially if it's like the first time where we're really going out and we're, in the public and all you're doing is talking about yourself and what you've done and you're trying to create this, this big macho persona.
Yes.
I think that
Yes.
probably would be a turn off.
Right. Stop. Let's talk and more action.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Let me see it. Not
Mhm.
talk about it. Riz, is there anything that turned you off immediately?
So much.
Just one. Just one
No,
thing.
I think a huge turn off, and I think they go hand in hand, is if we're out on a date and you're on your phone.
Okay.
Mhm.
That
Okay.
really bothers me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really bothers me. And then if you put your phone face down that bothers me even more because I feel like you have something to hide.
Okay, and I can see that bothering
I
you.
put my phone. I put my phone face down when I go out with people, and it's not because I don't. It's because like I don't want to be like it's either in my purse or it's face down because I don't want to check it and I don't
be distracted
right.
by it. Okay,
yeah. But I get why that would be like because if a dude did that, I'd be like, who texted
like why your phone face down?
Right.
I wouldn't care.
Dina,
and
see,
I think
Dina is.
I have to get on your level because I was talking to this guy, like on the iPhone, how when you get a text message, the message comes up on your phone. Mm-hmm. His doesn't do that. So the only way that you know exactly if you have a text message is if he goes and looks. And that is a problem for me. It bothers me.
But you've dealt with infidelity.
Yeah. So, right. So then, that's right, Mara. So, like you said, there's something that it's a trigger for you because of something else. Right. Now, let's say that person just it distracts them. Like they don't like having those things come up. So for me, I always have the notifications off on my phone, even though I have my own business, even though I have a family, even though it bothers me. So if I turn on my sounds for 3 minutes and I hear ding, ding, I'm like, no. I turn it off. Yeah. So maybe it's something that person prefers, but because someone in the past may have been, may have cheated or may have done some things like that, then it kind of is a trigger for you. So that's kind of hard because then you're going into this new relationship. Like, I don't like the fact that you don't have your notifications or
text messages and different things like that, then he gonna entertain it. But if nobody is going back with him, then there's nothing to entertain.
They weren't, like, he was kind of trying to initiate and nobody was really giving him anything. I was like, see, not as cute as you thought you were.
So he was fishing.
Yeah.
He was out there fishing.
No, and I think that's like he had already been checked out. But no, when he didn't give me the thumbprint, I was like,
men don't know that's the dead giveaways, like the obvious,
because the things that you used to do before, all of a sudden you're just not doing them, right? Because it was always like automatic. Anytime you got a new phone, like, oh, here you go, here's passcode, blah blah blah. Like, and the same thing with me, like, there you go. But when he didn't do it, I was like, something's up.
Changes. So yes, so I think, like I was saying, I think when you look, I think you're going to find something. It may not even be a thing, but because you find it and it doesn't sit right with you, and then it's like, okay, now I'm going to continue to look. Now I found that. What else you got? Now I'm going to dig deeper. So I think that trust is important, but it takes a long time to get there. I definitely think that. And I just want to say that we're going to kind of last minute thoughts, something that you want to say to those ladies out there who are getting ready to go into this season and they may be single. Is there something that you just want to say to them, a word of advice about Valentine's Day?
Until you are married, you are single.
You are single.
Stop letting situationships prevent you from finding your husband.
How about
you talking to somebody, you don't want to talk to nobody else. I guarantee you, he got like 5 other people in his phone right now.
That's a good word. That's a good word.
That's a good word. Mm-hmm. Let me think. What was the question?
Just something that you might want to share with those single ladies going into this Valentine's Day season. Or
if you focus on your money, the men will come, the relationships will come, and happiness will come.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
I would say stay open-minded, be true to yourself, and be patient.
I would just say everything happens with time. So you can't look at other people's situations and you think that their situation is happy when they could be miserable inside. So don't compare you being single to your best friend being in a relationship and she's not happy.
Yes. Or now we have social media, so you're comparing your relationship to what pictures they're posting or where they're at or what it looks like, but you don't always know. The only people that know about that relationship are the 2 people in the relationship, and they're only going to show you what they want you to see. So I just want to say thank you, ladies, so much for coming to Time to Talk with Ty today. And I have something for you because we are going into that season, like I said, Galentine's Day, and I'm celebrating you, ladies.
She is so extra.
I'm celebrating y'all today.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for coming. If nobody else give y'all roses, just know that Ty did.
Ty did.
Okay, and then I want to just toast with you guys to love. And to loving yourselves.
You know my drink, guys.
Oh, that's bad luck. Dina, come
Fill
on.
my cup up, sis.
Dina, come on, Dina. You want to share with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to toast you guys. Everybody grab their glass. Everybody grab their glass. We're going to toast to Galentine's Day. Yes. To love and to loving each other.
Yay.
You in there?
Cheers. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching Time to Talk with Ty. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel and my blog at tytime.com. Join me for more amazing guests and topics, and also feel free to comment below about this episode or ideas for upcoming episodes.